Man, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. This is the motherfucking Wake and Bake, man. I'm Styrofoam Ralph. You already know I got my dog with me, Nap Nation, Bleed Blue. What it do for the shoe? My nigga Jay Lethal is in the motherfucking building this morning for the early morning hot box, the Wake and Bake. I got a couple things on my mind this morning, man. Me and my dog was on the way to the store to get some roll-ups, and as I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking and I'm thinking and I'm thinking, and for some reason, something just pissed me off, just real bad. And again, like I said, I'm just thinking, and I'm like, bruh, this nigga Patrick Mahomes got 3 rings already, bro. This nigga got 3 rings already.
Three on.
What the fuck, bro? 3 of them things? Really, bro? 3?
Three on.
God damn. And all I can think about is, bro, who did he play? Who did he really play?
Jimmy G Niners, Jalen Hurts Eagles, Brock Purdy Niners.
Teams that's trying to figure out what the fuck they got going on, bro.
But he did lose to Tampa Tom.
Niggas who know what they doing.
He lost to Tampa Tom.
Niggas who know what they doing, bro.
You know what I mean?
That's all I'm really trying to say, bro. The nigga beat a Jimmy G Niners team who was 9-6 or some shit like that, bro. They beat a Niners team who was 9-6, who was trying to figure out their identity with Jimmy G. Then they beat a fucking Eagles team who was, I don't even want to, bro.
It was the best. It was the best NFC team.
That was a good Eagles team.
Yeah, like,
that was a good Eagles team. I'm not gonna lie, that was a good Eagles team. But they were still trying to figure out what the fuck they was trying to do, bro. Like, they were still trying to figure out who they were, what they was trying to do. And then they beat a fucking Brock Purdy team first year. Well, not second year. Okay, it's second year. Okay. Still trying to figure out what the fuck they trying to do, bro.
Are we?
I don't got no beef with Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, he
do. I don't got no beef. I don't got no beef with Patrick Mahomes, bro. I just want to know, is he really that nigga, bro?
How can he not be, bro? He got 3 of them, and he got an MVP. You know what I mean?
This nigga got.
He hasn't had a loser record yet.
Don't we have two? Do we got 2 MVPs, or do we only got 1?
I think he only got 1 because Lamar got 2 of them. He ain't have a losing season yet. You know what I'm saying? So, and he been in the playoffs. He's been in the AFC Championship game since he's been a starter. Since he has started, he's been in the AFC Championship game. How can he not be him? That's tough.
This nigga done threw for 5,000 yards twice. Yeah, this nigga do got 2 MVPs, bro. The nigga.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Himothy.
The nigga got 2 MVPs.
Himothy, bro.
5,000 yards twice. I get it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it.
The numbers is there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, the numbers are there. They there.
That shit just be pissing me off, bro. Like, I will never understand. I mean, I get it. Okay, so when we talk about, the greatness of Patrick Mahomes, I knew Patrick Mahomes was him. I knew Patrick Mahomes was a different breed of football player when the Kansas City Chiefs played Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans in the playoff game. And Deshaun Watson and them boys got out to like a 20-something lead. They was up on them niggas by like 20-something points early. And Mahomes just walked them down. Okay, that's cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? I hate to go back to the conversation of who are the established veterans that's supposed to knock him out? If all he is doing is battling young guns, if all he is doing is battling the young quarterback, like, come on, bro.
So you rather Patrick Mahomes was in the era with the Ben, the Brady, the Man and the Breed, to see how he would.
And let's see how many he really was gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Let's see how many he was really gonna get.
But are we saying that? Are you saying that just quarterback wise, or are you saying because team matters too? Because if we say it back in that era,
the team definitely mattered.
The Chiefs had a nice squad though back then.
Shit, let niggas tell it.
You know what I'm saying? Jamal Charles, Kareem Hunt, like
let niggas tell it, bro. Them early Andy Reid and Alex Smith teams were horrible,
but they was always at least 10-6, 11-5.
They just needed the quarterback. That's all they needed. And that's what I've been telling niggas. Niggas is just now coming around and being like, okay, well, Mahomes might have been in a decent spot. He might have landed in a decent spot. And again, nobody ever likes to know, okay, Patrick Mahomes, what was he drafted? Number 10 or number 15? I'm looking it up right now. He was drafted 10th overall, right? He was drafted 10th overall, right? The Kansas City Chiefs traded up at least 15 spots to get the nigga with the Buffalo Bills. They traded with the Buffalo Bills. They jumped 15 spots up in the draft to go get this man. He was drafted by a team who was already picking 20-something.
But they knew. Like they like they said, they scouted him. They already knew that was the guy. Andy Reid already knew that was the guy.
They did say that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like niggas was, and this was during the time when niggas was saying Patrick Mahomes to them was the worst pick they could have ever chosen as their quarterback when you got Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson on the board.
I'm hip.
So, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it like maybe we just literally undermined so much of what Pat Mahomes was really bringing to the table during that time, bro. And then when he got on the field, even his first game against the Broncos, he showed so many flashes of like, yo, this nigga, he might be like really the truth. And then what he do? First actual starting year, he lead these niggas to the fucking AFC Championship game.
This nigga is a 2-time Offensive Player of the Year. Fuck MVP. This nigga got a 2-time OPOY. What's really good with niggas?
Like, he doing what Aaron Rodgers should have been doing. You know what I'm saying?
Though. This is how Aaron Rodgers should have started off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Sitting behind Brett Favre. He was a top 5 pick. They picked Alex Smith over him. You know what I'm saying? So, you know he was tight about that. He should have really came out like, bro, fuck y'all niggas. 5,000 yards, 50 tubs, 12 picks, MVP, and the Super Bowl. That first year was at Tom Brady. No, and a loss to Tom Brady. Or the equivalent. Well, yeah, Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? Still losing to Tom Brady.
At least in the Super Bowl.
You know what I'm saying?
At least like Packers versus Patriots.
Or who was the top nigga in the NFC around that time?
Drew Brees. During that time, it was Drew Brees.
Drew Brees, McNabb. Who was? I mean, it was Aaron Rodgers.
That's what I'm saying.
Like it's hard to be. It was him. Like his second season starting, he was a Super Bowl champion. So I'm like, bro, this is really how Aaron Rodgers should have started his career, and this is how he should have maintained that shit, bro. Patrick Mahomes, 5,000 yards, 50 tubs, MVP, only losing to the one and only Tom Brady. Like,
what up, 2-5?
2-5, gang, what's happening? But I'm just saying, bro, like, I have no problem with Patrick Mahomes, but it's like, bro, you beating all the young niggas. Like,
okay, but now he don't, now
he the veteran. There is nobody there. All the other niggas is getting aged out. Like, so again, if he is the seasoned veteran, like,
but he's the new Brady. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had to have the villain, bro. He's technically the new villain right now. Everybody trying to be like Patrick Mahomes or get to his stats right now. Because right now, the bar is set where he set the bar where you at least got to get to the AFC Championship game or the ship. And you got to win at least 3 of them for us to have a conversation of like,
yeah, he is setting a new standard.
You know
that's the kind of shit that 2-5 was talking about, like with Joe Flacco and Matt Ryan. These niggas,
the standard wasn't to come in and be first time starters off the gate and lead your team to playoff success. No, they came in and they was meant to just learn the game, and eventually get on the field. Certain shit happened where they was thrust into, oh, they the starters straight off the gate, and they haven't turned back since then. They are the ones of the success. Like, well, do we sit quarterbacks or do we play them straight off the gate? You know what I'm saying? And as we seen, some is beneficial, some worked out, some, you know what I'm saying, it's all about the person. Like Joey B, his rookie year, came out that bitch, he was just slinging that bitch. He didn't have Chase at the time. He get Chase, he get his dog, they go to the Super Bowl. Like,
I feel, nigga, bro. And just like 2-5, I mean, I kind of feel you though. Pat's not the villain. He's just getting love early.
That Brady didn't.
And I feel like that's, bro. To me, that's a, bro. I'm not gonna say that because bro. Again, there's no malice in my heart towards Patrick Mahomes, the football player. So I'm not gonna be like that's what makes him the villain. I was gonna say it, but no. Again, as much as I joke around and shit like that, bro, I understand good football when I look at that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I recognize good football when I look at that shit, but I'm just like, dog, the niggas that the seat, bro. When Brady came into the league, he had to take down MVP Rich Gannon in the AFC conference game.
Who was Rich Gannon though?
But we like talk, bro,
over a longer period though. Like
I get it.
You know what I
get it. I'm still saying though.
Like during that time though, I get what you mean though.
But at the time, no, Rich Gannon wasn't. Rich Gannon's not a Hall of Famer. Okay, he had that one MVP season. He's not even like Matt Ryan MVP. He's not Phillip Rivers. You know what I'm saying? But they still had a crazy ass team with 2 Hall of Fame wide receivers, Tim Brown, Jerry Rice.
You will equivalent him to Brock Purdy,
and
a better version.
No, because even then, Brock Purdy still, Pat at this point in his career, Pat is the seasoned vet. This is like year 7 or 8 for Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? So Brock Purdy coming in and still being able to compete and still not win, we not doing nothing. 2007, our undefeated season, Brady, that was his 7th or 8th year in the league. That was Eli Manning's 4th year in the league, and he beat us. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's impressive. I'm trying to find out I'm not saying I'm trying to find the impressive, but it's like, bro, you knocking off Niner teams that's trying to find their way. Eagle teams with young quarterbacks. But I look at, you know what I'm saying?
But Pat's biggest probably like nigga that he really gotta worry about in the AFC all the time is always gonna be Joey B. Regardless. Until
just because Joey B made 1 Super Bowl.
Not even that. Just look at the head-to-head, bro. Look at the head-to-head matchup. Since they played against each other. Like, literally played games against each other. Joey B has had the upper hand in all the games they played. You know what I'm saying? It's only like maybe I think the Chiefs had that the playoff win. But we talking like just straight up going against each other. This nigga Joey B be putting Patrick Mahomes on skates when you talk about performance-wise. That's his biggest, like, because it's like, bro, in the AFC, now we got hella niggas who can sling the rock now in the AFC. On the NFC side, it's like, they don't really got to worry about, like, the quarterback talent compared to the AFC. So it's like, anybody on the NFC side, bro, he gonna wash, in a sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just gonna be a tough road like a Brady, because all the quarterbacks on the AFC side, Manning, Brady, Ben, Phillip.
I'm just saying, bro, the niggas that we had to go through early on, McNabb and the Eagles.
But how many times did y'all have to play them? It's like for Brady, it was like, damn, the only person that always gonna be stopping me from getting to a ring right now to the Super Bowl is Peyton Manning. Everybody else I can wash through. That's where we at with Pat Mahomes. Everybody in the AFC is like, he feel like he can watch through everybody, but it's like Joey B the only one that could give him that little one back and forth. Like, damn, he got my number this time.
The greatest show on turf. And I'm not even talking about the totality of the Pats dynasty. I'm talking about the early jumps. Where Pat is right now in his career. I'm talking about where Brady is right now. Bro, we beat the greatest show on turf.
Okay, but that's like Pat version of this year. He beat the greatest show on turf, far as like in our new era of football. If you get what I mean, like the history repeats itself, but it's just different teams. Pat Mahomes is the new. Y'all are like y'all old Pat.
So you saying the Niners are akin or comparable to the greatest show on turf?
If we talk at talent base and how you would construct a roster, CMC would be the Marshall Faulk. You got your Isaac Bruce with Debo, or you know what I'm saying, you got your Torrey Holt with Brandon Ayuk. You know what I'm saying? As far as tight end, I mean, shit, they got Kittle.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they got weapons, and then you got Kurt Warner throwing the ball. You got Brock Purdy throwing the ball. Then you gotta look at like the Patriots, how y'all ain't have really no name receivers out that bitch catching passes from Tom Brady. What does Pat Mahomes do? He got no name receivers. He won a Super Bowl with Sky Moore as a rookie, wearing the number 24 as a receiver. Kadarius Toney. Like, we're talking about niggas that are not really doing shit now. Like, that don't be like legit household names out here. Like, oh yeah, bro, this nigga about like I got Kadarius Toney really like changing the game today. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you got.
I'm just like, bro. I mean, he still had the best tight end in football.
And look what happened. Look what happened. Pat still came with the win. His defense still at the end of the day, bro. Let's not forget about that too.
And he had the number one defense in the league.
And what did Brady have? Majority of his career, the number one defense of the year in the league. Come on now,
the number one defense. We would always have a top defense, not the number one. Not the number one.
Until playoff time come around, and it'll be between y'all and Baltimore. It'll be between y'all, Baltimore, and the Steelers.
I'm about to say the Steelers were really the Steelers and the Ravens were really the niggas who had the historic defenses, bro. James Harrison, defensive player of the year.
But y'all still won bowls with y'all defense. Like, think about that, bro. Like, y'all, it's more than y'all defense. For like a lot of like no name niggas. Now when you say no name, just niggas that you don't always talk about, like your Dante Hightower, to a Teddy Bruschi, to a Junior Seau, to a Willis McGinn, Guinness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, Willis McGinn. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
2-5. What's happening, gang? 1/2 of Sports Reports as order tapping into the motherfucking hot box.
Yeah, I was like, yo, what the fuck did I do? This man done left me backstage for like 4 minutes.
Hold up, bro. No, I'm using the new interface, bro. I had no idea that you was in the joint, bro. I swear to God.
I was screaming in the stage. I'm like, yo!
Let me in.
Yeah, like, damn. I'm like, I only got a few minutes. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, my bad, dog.
But so what I wanted to say real quick was, like, Patrick Mahomes is a weird scenario, right? Because normally when you have somebody dominate in the way that he dominates, or whatever, however you want to word it, you know what I mean? Like, there's usually some hate associated with that. But it's like he's the first lovable winner that I remember. Like, everybody wants to love Patrick Mahomes. Like, he has literally no detractors. And it's weird because, I mean, there's not really a reason to detract him, but we find reasons to detract everybody else. So it's just a little weird. But to Lethal's point, Joe Burrow is the only active quarterback that has beaten him in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Whereas we've seen Josh Allen take him to the wire, take him to the brink.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? But for whatever reason, Buffalo just can't put it together. I mean, they literally Josh Allen did his part, and Buffalo gave up 70 yards in 13 seconds.
13 seconds trying to play the prevent defense, bro. Trying to play prevent. They didn't have no timeouts.
Whereas to both of y'all's points, San Francisco is obviously not the greatest show on turf, but they are built like Voltron. You know what I mean? Like, they got everything at every position except for defensive back. You know what I mean? And even then, they got a pretty damn good safety, but the corners aren't the best. But also, like, Tom Brady didn't.
I mean,
Tom Brady didn't just beat the greatest show on turf. I mean, he beat Jake Delhomme. You know what I mean? And you can only beat who's in front of you. You can only beat who's in front of you.
Yeah, but the Panthers, like it was certain NFC teams that would come into the Super Bowl versus Tom Brady, and like you'll be like, yeah, this is the team. If anybody that's built, this is the team that's built to beat Tom Brady. It's just like it never happened though. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, Carolina had a chance until the dumbass kicker kicked it out of bounds.
I mean, hey, look.
Hey, the Giants they can hold they the true like Patriot slayers out this bitch. You know what I'm
real
saying?
Though. And I'm just talking about the early jokes, bro. We beat, bro. Like I said, bro, we still beat notable teams, bro. The Eagles team,
right? They did, right? And that's the problem that I think that a lot of Brady fans have is that Brady didn't start getting credit until way later on. You know what I mean? Like Brady was like 4 Super Bowls in, and people were like, "Yo, maybe this dude is great." You know what I mean? Whereas Patrick Mahomes won an MVP almost right away, so he got that love right off top. You know what I mean? And I think that's what bothers Brady fans. You know, like I was talking last night about Jason Tatum, right? And as I was talking about Jason Tatum, the conversation was like, well, what about Anthony Edwards? Well, what about this? And I'm like, we ain't talking about that. Like people, for some reason, that's why I got so upset last night is because people are incapable. Like, you know what I mean? We're talking about Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, and then somebody will come out the blue and be like, but what about Peyton Manning? We ain't talking about him right now. Like, we can talk about him in a few minutes. Let's stay where we are. You know what I mean? And that's why I get frustrated, because you can make your point without trying to play the I gotcha moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Tom Brady, you know, did a lot of great things. A lot of people feel that Tom Brady had a great defense that helped him along the way. Patrick Mahomes probably has the best coach in the league / a top 5 coach of all time. You know, probably a top 5 to 6 tight end of all time. You know, this year, you know, between the corners, you know, McDuffie and Snead, you know, they had a lockdown secondary, but everybody is still like giving Mahomes the Jordan treatment of he's the only dude out there that's doing it.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, bro, I'm not even if they want to be like Mahomes is carrying the team, bro. I mean, bro, he definitely make it go.
I mean, you need the definitely make it go.
You know what I'm saying?
You need that. You do need the quarterback to make it go for sure. But like I think what the media and fans fail to realize is like they really do have a great defense. Steve Spagnuolo is on the staff. Andy Reid is one hell of a coach. You know what I'm saying?
Seasoned niggas. And I think before Spagnuolo wanted Jim Bob Cooter. And I mean, I'm not saying that he was
Jim on our squad.
But that's the problem. That's part of the problem. They have a great defense this year. Like the other years that they've won the Super Bowl, they didn't have a great defense.
They weren't leaky though.
I feel what
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So what we tend to do is we're trying to marginalize based off of how good their defense was this year. We're trying to marginalize and be like, yo, whenever they won the Super Bowl, they had this complete team. That's not true. You know what I'm saying? That's true for this season.
And what would have been the narrative if Pat didn't lose that Super Bowl against Brady? You know what I'm saying? Mind you, he lost both his starting tackles. You know what I'm saying? And lost.
That's what I'm saying. Like if it would have been the other way around, and Brady would have lost tackles and lost that Super Bowl, that would be the first thing that Brady fans lead off with. You know what I mean? And that's where, like, for me, that's where that frustration comes in, is because we're changing how we react based on who it affects.
Man, I would have had to let that ride, bro. Because for real, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not no Bucks fan. So you know what I'm saying? I'm a Brady fan, so the seven just adds the icing on the cake. But if he would have lost that John, bro, I would have still been like, bro, didn't he win MVP that year? But he was 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? If he would have lost his 2 tackles, bro, he's not a mobile quarterback, bro. What you want him to do?
He would have, but if those tackles were hurt, this is a reenactment of what would have happened. Yeah, so Patrick Mahomes beat Tom Brady at Super Bowl. He didn't have his tackles. What the fuck is we talking about? You know what I'm saying? That would have been how it went down. You know what I mean? Like that's how it would have went down.
I would have let it ride, bro. Oh my god, my mama would have let it ride, bro. Hey, I swear to God, I would have let it ride, bro. I was like, bro, I would have been like, bro, he was 40 years old. What would you want him to do? That's what I would have said. Now it's like, bro, he was 40 years old and he still did it.
Though. You can't have it both ways, though. You know what I'm saying? That's being a LeBron fan. Because in one breath, Tom Brady.
That's how I would have had to go out.
In one breath, it'd be Tom Brady is the best quarterback in the league, or he's a top 3 quarterback. And then as soon as he lose, but he's 40. Like he was 40 when you were saying all the other stuff too. Like you can't have,
you know what I'm saying? And obviously, that's when we can be like age is catching up. But bro, so be real right now. Did you ever see age catch up to Thomas Edward Brady?
Yes.
But
yes.
When did you? Was it before he left the Patriots?
When those passes started getting shorter and shorter. But the thing is that he had football IQ, so he was able to overcome that. Whereas a lot of quarterbacks don't have that. So, like for Aaron Rodgers, whenever he falls off in that way, it's just going to fall completely apart. You know what I mean? Like Tom Brady was also very, methodical. You know what I mean? And how he approached the game, how he went about the game. So it's the reason that somebody like a Jokic, if Jokic was like 37 right now, and even slower than he is right now, he could still be effective based off of his IQ, the way he reads the defense, the way he passes the ball. You know what I mean? Whereas if Embiid is 37 and slows down, that shit is ugly.
Yeah, because he's not gonna play make.
Right, and that's what it is with Tom Brady. Is somebody like him is always gonna be in that position of I study. I know the film. When I see the linebacker do this, I know that this is that, so I can't make that throw. You know, whereas you have quarterbacks like, say, Phillip Rivers, who's going to make that throw regardless of his age, regardless of who's on the field, regardless of what the defense is doing, he's going to make that throw.
Phil. Hey, no, bro, hold on. Did you see that top 20? I know you only got a couple seconds. Did you see that top 25 list, bro, of the quarterbacks?
No, I didn't.
Oh God, I'm about to put that shit in the group chat. There are some wild names on that list, bro. Top 25 of all time.
Like top 25 all time?
Yes.
Okay.
There are some wild names on this list.
Well, see, and that's another thing, right? Like we're all, to some degree, even myself, like we're all generationally biased in some ways. You know what I mean? And like, you know, you got quarterbacks like Johnny Unitas, you know, that people like Peyton Manning look up to. You know what I mean? So I'm like, is it really that off base to say that he's a top 5 or top 10 quarterback if Peyton Manning, who's in most people's top 5 and top 10s, look up to him? Like we just weren't there for it. But you know what I mean?
But we can't discredit what they did, though. They set the
right.
I feel like every era set a certain bar and standard during that time, and as time has gone on, we are like this generation now is setting the standard for what it is now, and this is how we should go about it. You know, so I think we should grade it off of each generation versus just one big thing in an entirety, because every generation is different. You know what I'm saying? But each generation sets its own for each one.
Now check this out.
Bruh,
I'm gonna say a bunch of names real quick, right? And I want y'all to tell me what they got in common, real quick. You ready?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain,
Okay.
Michael Jordan,
Okay.
Magic Johnson, LeBron James, Larry Bird,
Mm-hmm.
and there's two other names that I'm forgetting right now. But take those names. What do you think they all have in common?
Is it multiple MVPs?
It's at least 3 MVPs, and now Jokic is in that group. So when you hear that initially, you're like, hold up, what?
Now Nikola Jokic.
Right. It's 9 people total. I forgot 2 of
But
them.
I mean, he got over the hump too, though.
No, hold up. But wait, he did. So this was the problem. When he won the second MVP. So when he won the first one, people were like, yo, look at his numbers. You can't deny it. You know what I mean? So when he won the second one, the narrative was he's the only MVP to never play in the NBA Finals. Right? So then he won the championship last year. Who won MVP last year?
Won it Embiid?
Yeah,
It was Embiid. Guess what? Not only has Embiid not been to an NBA Finals, he hasn't been to a conference finals. He hasn't been to a conference finals, right? So this is where like all that context and stuff comes in. Whereas like I was saying last night, I don't think you have to be the best player in the league to be the MVP. I also don't think that you have to make a finals to be an MVP because that's just not, in some ways, that's not realistic. And you're rewarding people based on either past accomplishments or you're denying them because they don't have an accomplishment that has nothing to do with the regular season.
Right.
So when we add these layered context, this layered context to the conversation, that's why I have the problem because, you know, like I said, between the 4 of us, we could look at the NFL, we could look at the NBA right now. We could look at who won MVP last year and Jokic winning the MVP right now. And we can all have 4 different answers to who we think the MVPs are.
Right,
for sure.
Why can't the people that vote for it?
So, do you feel like it should be like a baseball thing where it's like a MVP West, MVP East?
No. I think it should be one MVP. I think that we should encourage less groupthink. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people vote for the same dude so that they don't get criticized. Like they figure out like, oh, everybody's leaning Jokic. Even though I feel it's SGA, if Jokic has 77 first place votes, I don't want to be questioned on why I didn't vote for the dude that had the first place votes. You know what I mean? It's like if you're the Lakers, right? Like, and I'm not trying to, you know, disparage or do any of that stuff. But at some point, you're going to have to move on from LeBron, right? You know, whether he retires or whatever the case may be. Like, he's not going to be a Laker 10 years from now. But you don't want to be the GM that traded LeBron James. Even though it might be better for you to do so, you don't want to be the person that's remembered as they traded LeBron and then let him go win a championship for somebody else.
How you feel about that one, Rumi? Rumi Road, Past Nation tapping into the hot box.
What up, bro?
What's up? What's good? From what I heard, the back end, I definitely agree with what you said. Are you talking about like the MVP as far as Jokic getting it?
Yeah, like just as far as like these people are supposed to be experts. They're in the arenas watching these games in person, and yet I'm supposed to believe that all these people share the same exact opinion when this wasn't even Jokic's best season of his MVP seasons.
Yeah. It's just like I said, that's why we had this conversation. Like, you know, like I said a couple weeks ago, like the MVP has just been a rigged thing from the jump. Like, you know, so there's been a lot of players that's gotten bamboozled, and this person should have got it, and they end up trying to make up for it the next year, and you know, what I'm saying, it's just a whole lot of. So now you got Jokic got three MVPs within 4 years, and then honestly, if they wouldn't have gave Embiid a sympathy MVP, Jokic would have had 4. This might have been his fourth one in 4 years.
And
You know
also,
what I mean?
last year, that was part of the discussion, was that I believe it was Wilt Chamberlain and Larry Bird are the only people that have won 3 consecutive MVPs.
Yeah, exactly.
And
And
there
ever
were
since
people.
then,
There were people.
I
Like,
told you that was my conspiracy theory on that, and I was like, ever since Bird got it, they don't want nobody. You know, obviously it's a white man; they don't want nobody to pass that. That's why they gave Jokic. You know, so they threw Embiid in between Jokic's. You know what I'm saying? So he couldn't get 3 consecutive. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, y'all wildin'.
and that's the thing. Now, if Oklahoma City wins this series and Minnesota wins this series, and that's your Western Conference Finals, all over the summer and coming into next season, the discussion is going to be SGA versus Ant. You know what I mean? So starting next regular season, it's going to be their MVP to lose before we even play a game.
I mean, but don't you think that's right though? Just based off of how they were.
No, I don't. I think you don't vote on the MVP before the season starts. Like, you can have narratives because you got to sell storylines. It's a business. You know what I mean? So you got to have a storyline. But the problem is that on August 1st, somebody is going to be like, yo, this is SGA's MVP to lose. And then they're going to carry that with them all season as long as he doesn't mess up or as long as he doesn't fall below a certain point. They're going to vote him for MVP because of a thought that they had in August.
I see what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
You know,
well, I mean, the person though, I mean, it's almost like the preseason records. I mean, whoever wins the championship usually is going to be, let's say, the runner-up or the has the at least like a 5 to 10 votes ahead of everybody else, just because you excuse me, the defending champs or whatever. So, like you say, let's just say let's just say the Timberwolves win the championship, or let's just say Boston win the championship. So, you know, so then I'm trying that if Boston win the championship, I'm sure that probably gives Tatum the finally the head start and possibly win the MVP next year. You know what I'm saying? Like they might, he might let's say get finals MVP, something like that or whatever. But I'm sure he'll definitely if the Boston wins, he'll definitely be talking about Tatum next year. Then, even though Tatum has been pretty much been consistent. You know what I'm saying? He's averaging 30 points and team's #1, but Tatum ain't getting no shine. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, just like if the finals was today and Boston was in it, Jason Tatum would really have to fuck up and have a bad series to not be Finals MVP.
Yeah,
you know, even though he's not having a good playoff as we speak. You know what I mean? He's not though. We went over this.
I think they're just cruising. I mean, there's nobody really
right
now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
100%.
Yeah, like the first 2 rounds. Think about it. Who they played the first round? The Heat.
Miami. Yeah.
Hurt. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So they didn't get challenged there. They're not gonna get challenged this series. They get to the next series. Obviously,
we just lost by like 20.
Hey,
yeah,
that's why I said last night
they're gonna come out and mollywop them, just like when Miami tied it up. You know what I'm saying? They had to hit all them threes. Everybody's like, oh, it's actually gonna be a series. And what Boston went out there and smacked their ass the next 3 games.
But imagine Donovan Mitchell in one of these next 2 games has one of those 45-point games, and we go back to Boston 2-2.
I mean, you know, that kind of way anything is possible.
I'm down for the drama. I'm down for it. I'm down for the drama. Like I said,
I don't see him, but hey, anything is possible.
I welcome the drama because, like I said, if we don't pull it out this year, it's gonna be a rift, and I just want to see what's gonna happen.
Just like we saw the media literally take a Finals MVP away from Steph Curry based on narratives.
Yeah,
like he had one bad game that Dellavedova played some good defense in and had to go to the hospital because he was out of fluids. And Steph balled the rest of the series, and they used that game to be like, Dellavedova is the Curry stopper, even though he didn't stop him ever again. And they were like, yo, Iguodala's the MVP for shutting down LeBron, even though LeBron still averaged like 34 points. You know what I mean? And there was no Kyrie. There was no Kevin Love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they were like, nah, Steph had that bad game in game 3. He can't be the finals MVP.
Yeah, I mean, same thing with the NFL. I mean, look, they gave Lamar the MVP just because he beat the 49ers. They had cemented that.
Exactly.
As soon as we beat the 49ers, Lamar's MVP. Like, even though his numbers were very mid, you know what I'm saying? They were not MVP-like numbers, but they're like, oh, you beat the 49ers, so yeah.
He
you
didn't
that
even
dog.
have
Like,
30 total touchdowns.
that's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
Y'all think
it's like,
do y'all think the race will be less lopsided if it was peer voted?
not
I
necessarily
don't know.
because, you know, peers are just as. Are you talking about between the players?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you
Just
might
like
have
that.
to
Just
go,
like
honestly.
don't the players vote for? Remember when NFL Network used to do the NFL Top 100 or
Yeah,
whatever?
they did that. Yeah, players did that. Yeah, that's how they
I
used
feel
to do
like
the
that.
MVP back in like the 70s before they changed
I
it.
feel like that shit, and I feel like the top 100 list. I used to go by that jump. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. Like I felt like the way
I
that
think
they
that's. I think
was
that would be
accurate.
a. I think that would be. I don't understand why they don't have the players involved with more of the voting anyway. Just because those guys, like I said, they see it every single night. Like they looking at it, they looking at in game stuff. Like everybody on the outside is looking at statistics. Like I said, it's 82 games in a season. Everybody's not watching 82 games of all these players. So you're
Yeah.
gonna do your little highlights,
For me,
skim
I think that's
through.
tough, though.
That's what I'm
For me,
saying,
I
bro.
think
I
that
barely want to keep up with 82 games in a year, bro. Like
like
these niggas doing in back to backs. Like you really think I'm gonna be sitting here being like, God damn, like I'm back to back with a game. It'd be a
Yeah,
week
especially
where
being
these
on the
things.
East Coast when you got the West Coast game starting at 10 o'clock, 10:30, and you think you're gonna stay at the 1
I'm
o'clock
good, bro. I'm good.
yeah, I think that's tough, right? Because like in the NBA, you know, since you're separated by East and West, you know, you only play a East team twice if you're in the West throughout the whole season.
Right.
So what if Embiid or somebody, you know, load manages the game where you're playing them, but you played against Jokic 4 times,
Mm-hmm.
and
I
Jokic
mean,
been busting y'all ass? Like it's gonna be hard for you to be like, yo, I think Embiid is the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
but that's why, you know what I'm saying, that those one or two people, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna be, you know, the vote is still strength in numbers, you know what I'm saying?
Gonna
As
have
far as
dumbass
all these other
that vote
fucking
Kevin Durant.
journalists.
I ain't gonna lie, though, I think that would have been a decent idea if NBA kind of did like MLB, but if you had like a West MVP and an East MVP, like that wouldn't even be a bad idea. I know they wouldn't do it, but that actually wouldn't be bad though. I actually would like something like that. That actually be kind of cool if you ask me.
So I mean,
And I mean, we might be headed that way. You know, we have the
Possibly.
conference finals in.
Possibly.
so like do it way more like we say that Tom Brady has AFC championship victories and an NFC championship victory. Peyton Manning only has AFC championship because he only played for AFC teams. So when we talk about a baseball MVP, like is there somebody who's notable for having maybe an AL and an NL MVP?
Not off the top of my head because most baseball players don't really do a whole lot of flip flopping. You know what I'm saying? Usually, once you tied in, just because of the contracts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't really too much.
Oh,
Ain't too much moving around.
I mean, my man Mookie went from Boston to LA.
But,
Ain't that a change
and
of conference?
that was early, but that still was early in his career. Like, he only did like 2 seasons with y'all, if that. He wasn't with y'all long before y'all
Yeah,
got
he
rid of
wasn't.
him.
Yeah,
And
well,
he's not.
Mike Trout just signed like a 10-year deal, and he's been an Angel his whole career already.
Right, and Angels not winning nothing. They're not even close to winning nothing. And he's staying with them. So
Yeah, like Aaron Judge is going to be a Yankee until he retires or he dies.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how it go, bro. Like once you get the dude, once you draft a player, you get him out your farm system, you sign him to the contract. That's just what it is. But like I said, MLB contracts are fully guaranteed, so that's a big difference
He
between MLB, NFL, and NBA. Well, NBA contract is guaranteed too. MLB is the only.
almost
NFL
did that shit though. He won MVP in 2018 in Boston, and he was the MVP runner-up as a Dodger in 2020. He finished second behind Jose. No, that's AL. Hold on, Freddie Freeman. He finished second behind
Was
Freddie.
he was he second this past year?
You said what happened?
Was he second this past season?
2023, he was the MVP runner-up too.
Yeah. And so so he could do it, I guess. But you know what I mean. But I think that baseball, it's set up differently because in baseball you just need your pitchers to get hot or whatever. In the NBA, players intentionally are encouraged to sign their max deal because your current team can pay you more than everybody else. But then once you sign that contract, you're like, I want out of here.
Right.
Because what it is also
it's
that salary cap. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about it is like in the MLB, you could be the dog and get your max money, and they still got money to pay the rest of the players. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, it depends on which franchise you play for. Unless you play for like one of these smaller market teams like the Devil Rays, the Rays or Cleveland or these smaller market teams. But if you in the NBA, you sign that super max, they only gonna be able to afford maybe one more player and maybe a third. But they only most teams maybe do two max players and that's it. And depends on everybody. After that, somebody take a pay cut. So
right. And that's why Phoenix is in the conundrum that they're in, because Booker making what he making, Durant making what he making, and then they brought in Bradley Beal. So it's
with a no trade clause.
Yeah, so it's like, yo, we need the G League to finish out the rest of our roster.
I think that was a bad trade.
It was.
I don't think they shouldn't have never traded for. I'm not even talking about Bradley Beal. I'm talking they shouldn't have traded for KD.
Oh,
I don't like when you got to give up all your stock for one player, like because like you lose your whole team. You have nothing after that, like so that's what some of the Lakers problem. We got Anthony Davis. We gave him a lot of capital. That's why we ain't got nothing now.
Paul George.
Picks, you know what I mean?
And I think it's also funny how the Phoenix owner. Remember, I played that clip where he was like, "Man, there's nothing wrong with us. We're fine." You know what I'm saying? We got but then they just fired Frank Vogel. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what's really going on? Like
because a lot of people are championship or bust, and they don't understand basketball. Like they're just like, how many teams come together in their first year and win a championship?
Right.
Which is why, again, if we don't pull it off this year, some need to shake.
I mean, even the Wade and Bron didn't win their first year. You know what I mean? Like even, OKC had Westbrook, Harden, Durant, Ibaka. They didn't win. You know what I mean? Like it's rare that
KD jumped ship.
Yeah, they were supposed to stay together like that. That was supposed to be. They were supposed to.
I think it was already beef though. I think they are because KD was like, bro, this nigga Westbrook, man.
Westbrook really was feeling this stuff. Westbrook really thought he was that dog. Like, don't get me wrong. Like Westbrook was good and all, but
I mean,
but
he was.
But I think that's what we're seeing in Boston. I think that's what we're seeing in Boston is that Tatum has some of that KD personality because KD was more like, yo, I'm the best player on the team. But Russ was so aggressive and abrasive that sometimes he just stepped back and was like, you know what? I ain't even dealing with this shit. Like, I'm not going to call for the ball. You do your thing. Whereas, like, I think that's what Tatum does to some degree. Instead of being like, yo, get the fuck out the way and give me the ball, he's like, all right, you got it, Jalen, or y'all got it. And, so people on the outside like me get criticized because we want to see him do more of that. He doesn't have to do it every time, but we just want to see you in a game be like, back up. I'm gonna put us on our back. And he doesn't do that. And
bro,
then pointing that out. And
that's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah, we get criticized for pointing that out, even though the criticism should be on him and not the people that are observing what he's doing.
All right, y'all. I got a quick video real quick. Let me see what y'all think about this.
Finally have a solution to tanking.
All right, here we go. My bad.
LeBron said, look,
not this one.
We may finally have a solution. We may finally have a solution to tanking. The PWHL's new gold plan basically states that once teams are mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, they'll earn draft order points for every win, and the team with the most points gets the first overall pick. And this could eliminate tanking in every major sport forever. Take the NFL, for example, because the only non-playoff team that won more than one game after being mathematically eliminated was the New York Jets with 2. And those 2 wins came over the Commanders and Patriots. The Jets got punished for winning those games. They're picking 10th. And the Commanders and Patriots are picking top 3. You may not remember those games because nobody cared. But imagine the stakes in those games if the first overall pick was on the line. This is what the gold plan would do. It would make every single game in the regular season matter. This rule isn't perfect, but kudos to the PWHL for trying because tanking has got to go, and this is one way to do it. So we may finally have a solution.
So what do he mean by draft points? I understand. Go ahead, 2-5.
That's a great idea. Because even making the play-in punishes teams.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, even though the play-in is used to incentivize, you can still make the playoffs, or, you're playing playoff basketball. The teams that make the play-in are picking at either the back of the lottery or not in the lottery at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know what I mean? If you're Trae Young, for example, you got to listen to your fans talk about how weak your team is, and you can't even do anything about it because since you're in the play-in, you ain't going to get nothing anyway. Which I don't like to play in. That's a whole nother conversation, but yeah.
So when they talk about draft points, do they mean actually like still winning the games? Like you win the games to improve your draft? Like once you get eliminated, you need to start winning games to improve your draft spot.
So in hockey, it goes by, like, you have standings, but the points, just like soccer, the points are what determine who the playoff teams are. Like, you know what I mean? So once you're eliminated and you can't make the playoffs anymore, you're still, it's basically a playoff to get the top pick.
For
you know
sure.
what I mean? Like, I want y'all to play hard versus, it's like right now, it's like the worst record or whatever. In the NBA, they do the lottery, but in the NFL, worst record is going to pick first. So instead of being like, hey, we're 3-10, if we win another game, instead of picking number 1, we might pick number 5. You know what I mean? It's like, well, hey, if you start winning games, we're going to reward you because you didn't give up, or you just even the playing field where it doesn't make sense for these teams to just blow games.
I mean, I think the points will go off of like the strength of schedule. So like, the reason of like it's based off the strength of schedule, calculates how many wins, how many points you have once you are eliminated from the playoffs compared to everybody else. And then they'll go from there. Whoever has the highest points based off of the schedule, you'll get the first pick, or such and such. That's how it probably would.
No, I think it's just simple. Like the most wins after you mathematically eliminated. Like
I don't think it works like that in the NFL.
Well, I mean, everybody gets eliminated at different times, though.
Like the teams are even, so like, yeah, I could say, you know what I mean, like your strength of schedule is tougher or whatever, but that's just a given year of you played the NFC South instead of the West. You know what I mean?
Or you can base it off of the teams the teams like that you beat in their record. So it'll be like, say that I beat a 14 that 14-2, that 13-14 that y'all see, I beat them, versus me beating a 2-10 team, or it based off of, I might have beat the 17-0 team. I gave them their first L, so it'd be 16-1. Like, instead of like, oh, you just beat a team regardless of who the team is.
I don't know. I think that's too deep into the weeds, though.
Yeah, it is.
I feel.
Yeah, that's true. I think they should do it like a lottery. I think they should do like a lottery.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Only thing that I was saying is
take too much at that point.
Take the Falcons, for example. If they was to start out 4-7, and then they fuck around, go 4-8, and then they get eliminated. What incentive would Kirk Cousins have to go out there and win more games, try and get a higher draft pick? What at what point is he still invested into the team? Like,
well, that's when you sit him down and play Penix. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is that people would look at that as they're giving up on the season.
no, you just open that up though, because hell yeah, all right, you don't want to play this is second. We eliminated now. Now we basically the play in. You know what I'm saying? We try and get draft spot. Hey, Penix, what it do? But then, all right, so what's up? Then, cool, yeah, play the rookie. You know what I'm saying? He's still on a rookie deal. We still preserving our multi-million-dollar quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Penix, get out there. We gonna try and, you know what I'm saying, win. You know what I'm saying, and bring you some help. Bring Kirk some help. You know what I'm saying, or help the defense.
That's what I'm saying, but that's where the comes in. Because as soon as you sit down Kirk, the talk becomes they gave up on the season. So unless Penix comes in and goes 5-1 or whatever, people are going to take away, like regardless of what their intention was, people are going to say they gave up on the season, they're tanking, whatever XYZ. Blah. So they're in
but it's the anti-tank though. You know what I'm saying? It's the anti-tank. Because we still playing, you know what I'm saying? We still playing to win. We playing our number one draft pick. Okay, we're eliminated. It's time to see what's up with what's going with the future. We stuck with it. You know, we obviously tried to stick with it with our 100 and some. How many fucking M's Kirk Cousins got? 2 years, 140. Like, what is we talking like? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but yeah, and that's the problem though, because like if you're the only team that does that though, you know what I mean? If the Falcons are the only team that sits their quarterback, then that's going to be that perception of their tanking. Versus if the rest of these teams keep their starters in, then they look like they're trying to win, even if they're not winning. The Falcons aren't trying to win, even if they are trying to win.
Man,
so that's where you get into all that. You know what I mean? Because we know that once you bench your quarterback,
you eliminated
it's
though.
over.
But you eliminated from you mathematically eliminated.
I'm just saying though, but that's where like you have to, like, I don't think it works in football the way that it would in hockey. Because in football, you don't get points for wins. You just get your standings updated. You know what I'm saying? If football had points, because like, you know, in soccer or whatever, you know, you get points for a draw. You know what I mean? So like if I draw, I'm still accumulating points. Whereas in the NFL, most times it's either win or lose. So how do I determine this team lost, but they gave up, or they weren't playing hard, or they won, but did the other team lay down and they actually earned? You know what I mean? Like, it's too much. Like you gotta like analyze.
Yeah. I still don't think it's that deep. I still think they make you play for draft spot. You know what I'm saying? You want a good draft pick. You want to bring in the best players. Like, I'm pretty sure that like who was a team? Let me see the draft order again. I'm pretty sure a team like Minnesota would have loved to, because they was when was they eliminated? Early, right?
They were eliminated. Yeah, probably. Well, I think they got eliminated around week 13 or 14. Actually, I think they had a chance like the last week. But they needed stuff to happen. You know what I mean? But they weren't mathematically eliminated until like the very last week. So it's like, do I sit my starters in week 14 because we need all this help? Or do I say, we still got a chance, so until we're eliminated, we're going for it? And each franchise looks at that differently.
No.
You know, based on how the season's going, trajectories, all that kind of stuff. Whereas in the NBA has the excuse of, we got the lottery. So regardless of where you finish in the standings, you could not get the number one draft pick. You just have a better chance because you have more ping pong balls. But you don't have to have the number one draft pick. Whereas in the NFL, like if Carolina didn't make that dumbass trade, they'd have been picking number 1 this year probably. But since they made the dumbass trade, the Bears benefited from it.
Key points.
So should I take the pick away from the Bears because Carolina was stupid?
I mean, if you make dumb choices, I mean, hey, it's your fault.
So that's where, like I said, I'm involved. I think there's like a lot of, because I mean everybody like for Washington and Dallas, you know what I mean? For example, we're in the same division, and usually, you know, obviously you're going to play the same division or the same opponents as your division, but the difference is your schedule front loaded or back loaded. You know, like Dallas played Buffalo and Miami late, whereas Washington played them early. So if I use the strength of schedule thing that Lethal brought up, that's just luck on where your schedule lined up.
I mean, so do you feel like the schedule makers should play a better role into like scheduling teams instead of backloading and front loading the way they do? Do you think they should do a better job at like scheduling people with the games? Or scheduling teams based off of who they playing, based off of talent?
I don't know, because that's subjective. See, like you could do this in college football because not everybody plays the same schedule. You know what I mean? So, like, if Oregon goes out there and gets killed by Georgia, but then USC didn't play anybody of note, I'm not going to penalize Oregon for losing to the number 1 team while USC didn't even play a ranked opponent, but they have a better record. You didn't challenge yourself. So that's where that come in. But college football doesn't have draft picks. So, you know, there's not need to do that. But but when we're looking at like the playoffs, you know what I mean? Like for the NFL, you can make the playoffs with a 7-10 record in the right year. You know what I mean? So if another team finishes 6-11, how I'm going to say y'all tanked, or you know what I mean? Like, or if they went 5-12, but your division winner was 7-10, how can I be like, yo, they tanked?
But you could be like, and then that's when they'll go to the 5 wins and be like, all right, who did they play and got these 5 wins against? Like, what teams was the 5 wins against? Was those competent teams to see and say like gave them a reason to tank, or was it like, oh, these niggas really like beat a high power team and all the other you know what I'm saying losses were just like they just got their ass whooped? Or it could have been close.
But where does injuries factor in? Where do injuries factor in? You know what I mean? Because, like, say, like using your Atlanta scenario, you know what I'm saying? Let's say Baker Mayfield gets hurt and Tampa doesn't win another game. Can I say they were tanking?
They didn't have a quarterback.
Like, there's a lot of variables, but that's what I'm saying. So should I reward them based off the fact that they lost their quarterback? I'm going to punish another team because their quarterback was healthy, and I'm
But if they win that game, though, but exactly losing in this situation, losing will improve your draft spot. In the next situation, with the new rule, losing will hurt your draft spot.
Right, but if I'm coming off the bench with Blaine Gabbert and I don't win another game, can you say that I tanked?
Yeah, I would. Because
you can't say that though. That was no damn Blaine Gabbert though. It's like you said, you can't.
Like you said, that's like if my backup was somebody like Ryan Tannehill over Blaine Gabbert, you would not think I'd be trying to tank for the season if I got Ryan Tannehill. But if I go out there and throw Blaine Gabbert out there, you'll definitely be questioning if I'm trying to tank or not.
No, I mean, if you randomly just throw him out there, yeah, that's different. You know, so like I said, you know, Tannehill, somebody gets hurt, but yeah, but I just think the best scenario is probably would just have to be is just the lottery picks. I mean, I think that's the best way to keep the odds. You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of it will work.
Yeah, I think that's the best scenario is the lottery, honestly.
But would they ever want to bring that to the league? That's the
Probably
thing.
not, because in the NFL eyes, they don't see nothing wrong with the draft. They haven't really. I mean, all the number one picks the last 20 some years is, I guess you would say, been deserved of them. I don't think there's been a number one pick. A team has had a number one pick that's been like,
2-5, you good, my brother?
I don't think that they deserve it. So because I mean,
I feel you,
every time the
bro.
Bears had it, they have been some shit. It ain't like them having number one pick has helped improve them. You know what I mean? So it's like having number one pick doesn't really help you. You know what I mean? If you make the wrong pick, so.
True shit.
I just can't see niggas competing to have the number one pick because I mean, usually the number one pick is reserved for like fucking. Because if you have a top quarterback, what team with a top quarterback pick top 10?
Facts.
Right.
Except for maybe Aaron Rodgers, who was hurt.
Right. That's a fact there.
So it's like if you have a team with maybe a middling or a up and coming quarterback, because where did Bryce Young pick? Where did the Panthers pick?
They had the first pick with that. He was number one pick. Yeah, because CJ shot number 2.
So where did the Panthers pick this year though? Or did they traded their pick to with Chicago?
Traded, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Chicago had the number one overall pick.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
it just worked in Chicago's favor that Justin Fields didn't work out for him, and they was able to make that trade. You know what I'm saying? So them to get a quarterback. It's like, well, lose one, get one. That worked out in our favor.
that's really crazy, bro. And the Carolina's first pick was 32. Wow. Xavier Leggett, they had to trade up to get that though. So they didn't even have a first round pick. But of all the teams that picked in the top 10, Chicago, Washington, Patriots, Cardinals, Chargers, they got good quarterbacks. Or people you would consider a serviceable quarterback.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So Bears, Commanders, Patriots, Cardinals, Chargers, Giants, Titans, Falcons, Bears. And we already know what the Falcons did with they pick. You know what I'm saying? And the Vikings. There was 10. So then we already know what the Falcons did with they pick. They didn't really help their team or their quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But their quarterback wasn't there last year. So I mean, I feel what niggas is saying. But again, I just don't feel like in football.
This draft this year was actually more interesting and like 6 quarterbacks went in the first round. You know what I'm saying? You had your first top 3, and then you had the trade up, and then you had Denver going ahead. Like, so it's just like I feel like it makes it more. I think it's based off of just players that are coming up in the draft. Like, what's the crop of players? Is it any franchise quarterbacks in this year's draft? If it's not, then it's based off of who's the best player, what group of players. You already know the receiving and the O-line is going to be crazy, and D-line going to be crazy because niggas need pass rushers. And then it's like, who's going to be the best DB? You know what I'm saying? Who's the best corner? Like, now it's a race to where it's like, all right, do we move up to go get this person? Rather than in the quarterback market, it's like it's a hit or miss, because we could say the same thing now. Once these quarterbacks after next year, who are we going to be sitting here talking about like who's drafting a quarterback again anytime soon? You know what I'm saying? Like legitly drafting a quarterback, probably not. You know what I'm saying? Baker's still in the league good. Stafford, you know what I'm saying? He can still rock it off for right now. Goff can still rock it off right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
but I mean, that's the philosophy though. That's how the league work.
But at some point,
quarterbacks, you don't have teams picking high if you have a good quarterback, unless he got hurt. And unless he is an older nigga with Joe Burrow, they didn't draft no quarterback first. They drafted somebody to help the nigga that they got right now.
Right. So now that everybody's starting to get quarterbacks, it's like just like next year, it's only going to be like maybe 2 more teams that really need a quarterback. Dallas probably is going to be the big team that needs a quarterback, depending on how Dak go this year. And I still don't see them bringing back Dak anyway. And once Dak leave, it'll be like, all right, once Dak leave, it'll be like, where does Dak go? He either gonna go to Oakland, you know what I'm saying, and finish off right there, and then Dallas will draft their, you know what I'm saying, and Dallas draft their guy, which will probably be Shador, and then who else will need a quarterback after that? Atlanta got their quarterback, Broncos got their quarterback, you know what I'm saying, Washington got their quarterback, y'all got your quarterback, we got our quarterback. The Jaguars got their quarterback. So it's like you keep going down the list, not too many teams gonna need a quarterback anymore.
Giants and Jets.
That's it. You know what I'm saying?
2-5.
So then you got what, Carson Beck, and who's the next? Who's the third next quarterback, if any? Right now it's just 2 that we know of, that I know of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, shit. The goddamn Raiders are looking for a quarterback. I don't know if Aiden O'Connell is their guy or not.
And you still got Justin Fields, Russell Wilson still on one whole team together. So it's just like it's other quarterbacks that still gonna be able to could probably still take over or still be there. So it's like still though, at the end of the day, it's like we about to come to a point where it's like we're not gonna have to worry about quarterbacks being drafted for another hopefully another like 4 or 5 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Like these niggas still young, you know what I mean? So it's no point of tanking no more. We're gonna tank for the best receiver.
Mike Tomlin just understand how it go though. Like you said, bro. The Steelers are whatever we say about how mediocre the Steelers are. They never gonna pick top 10. They never are going to have a draft spot where they are going to be in the running for the top quarterback. So they get it.
True. That's been a fact.
You know what I'm saying? They get it. So just like we said, bro, like the people who are gonna be needing quarterbacks is gonna be slim. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like again, a team with a good quarterback is not gonna be picking top 10. If you're picking top 10s because you don't have a good quarterback.
Right. That's fair. That's a fact.
So it's like the point system. I'm still thinking like, is the point system like, are we playing for a top pick? Because the only reason you will play for a top pick is because you really need me. Like how many times have we seen where it's like, oh, somebody other than a quarterback is the resounding number 1 overall pick? Reggie Bush wasn't even the resounding number 1 overall pick.
But he was projected to be. And Houston decided to go with Mario Williams instead. And the Saints decided to
he was still a top 5 pick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was still a top pick, but I'm saying he wanted the number 1 pick.
So it's just like, and then it's just like even still, like we've seen that though. Like where it won't no quarterbacks, but it was just like these niggas drafted other people. Like we seen a tackle go first overall. We seen a motherfucking we seen a receiver go overall number 1. We
seen Trayvon Walker go overall.
You know what I'm saying? How often do we see a safety, another corner?
And that's just what I'm saying, bro. But I mean, I guess that could be, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I don't know.
You want it to always be quarterbacks, top picks.
I mean, but that's, bro. What like, so, bro, out of these teams right here, bro. So the Chargers, what was their record last year? Because wasn't Herbert hurt a couple of games? Did he play all the games?
Nah, I think he missed at least like 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. But the Chargers was probably, I think they was what. No, they was up there because it was 5th. 6 and what?
I knew you just got here, fellas. I'm about to step off for a little while. I'm about to catch y'all.
All right, yeah, man. Yeah, goddamn. That's Romy Road tapping out of the hot box, man. You already know, man. Much love,
be
bro.
Good, bro. All right, bro.
All right, you already know, gang. Yeah, no, hold on. I'm gonna get on this in a second, but just give me a minute. I'm just trying to figure out this Charger shit.
Because thinking about it, just like, I mean, The Chargers took a tackle
last year. The Chargers was 5-12.
Okay, but they don't need a quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
They drafted protection for their quarterback.
Exactly, because that's probably what they needed. You know what I'm saying? In all.
And Justin Herbert played in 13 games. He was 5-8.
So that right. So that warrants a reason of okay, that's a reason why you would draft that player at that high. You know what I'm saying? Regardless,
because that's the need for your team. But Justin Herbert gonna play. I mean, we got a good quarterback. If he out there, he gonna play to win every game.
Right, but if you're not protecting him, then what? What are
you know what I'm saying? But if y'all mathematically eliminate it, he's still ready to be like, bro, I'm still ready. I feel like, well, no, because we wouldn't.
You're not doing him no service, regardless. Because
winning games, you're not doing him no service because it's gonna hurt the draft spot. But now winning games, where all right, Justin Herbert, you want Malik Neighbors or you want Joe Alt? You know what I'm saying?
Put me in a spot so we can get him. That way, it's not like I'm going out here risking my whole life just because, or I got to sit down. Now I'm creating drama just because I don't want to hurt myself.
But I mean, they got there without doing that shit though.
But at the same time, you still need certain things to.
They still got top 5 without. Bro. Did they roll over? Was Quentin Johnston dropping passes on purpose against the Packers?
But why make your quarterback look that bad? Who was getting all the blame? But no, because all the blame was going to Brandon Staley at the end of the day.
They did fire the coach.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it won't like niggas was saying, oh, it's Justin Herbert's the reason why the Chargers failed. The defense is the reason why they failed. Like, no, really, all the blame went to Brandon Staley. You know what I'm saying? Now John Harbaugh's in there. Now we're expecting what we've been expecting of the Chargers and Justin Herbert. This is Michigan. Just look at the Chargers like Michigan for yourself this year.
They got a quarterback. Now they just about to rebuild. I don't know if I like the point system in the NFL. I just don't know if I like it. It's like it's the league. The league is quarterback driven.
It is, but at the same time, it's like you still can make your, like, you as a coach, knowing that the league is quarterback driven, you still can keep your quarterback at a winning championship level and not have to have him still throw the ball 45 times a game. You know what I'm saying? It's about the big time throws and big clutch moments when the lights is really on, when the chips is on the table. Do my quarterback got the nuts or he don't? Basically.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
y'all, we done reached that 1 hour mark in this here hot box, man. You know we love y'all so much, man. I'm Styrofoam Rob. This was the motherfucking Friday Wake and Bake. This is my dog. You know what I'm saying? Bleed Blue. What it do for the shoe? Nap Nation. My nigga Jay Lethal. 4-1 Oracle. Already know you can catch us tonight in the hot box, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We love y'all so much.